This is another video for the latest 1.6.5. I made quite a few changes, so I'm going through the whole setup of adding a scene, adding the expanse and the expanse weather controller. So as we can see here, I'm going to start on a new project. This is Unity 20, I can't even remember. Yeah, it's 2021.3.2F1. So I'm going for a new project. Go for the 3D HDRP core, and I shall be saving it in the expanse weather controller 1.65. Calling it 1.65, but obviously you can use whatever name you want. So there we go. I'm just going to pause the video until this one has installed. So that's the project installed. We can see here it opens up on the outdoor scene. So what I'll do is I'll just use this to see the initial installation. So what I'll do is I'll delete Sky and Fog. I'll delete everything out of here. Then I go to the Windows, the package manager, and first of all we'll install the samples for the visual effects graph, because one of the lighting presets depends on the visual effects graph built-in lighting. I will be changing this in the future. I'll make my own shader, but I just haven't had any time yet. So basically go to the visual effects graph, samples, and import the effects graph add-ons. This shouldn't take too long. Actually, I'll just show you here. And actually there it is. So it's the visual effects graph, visual effects add-ons. So I've installed them. Next I will install Expanse itself. So there she is, Expanse, import. And that's Expanse installed as well. So that is the basics of the initial setup. Basically, we can see Expanse sitting in its folder here. So what I'll do next is I'll bring in the downloaded package, which you will have downloaded from my website, and drag this in as well. And import this one. Okay, so that's the Expanse weather controller imported as well. So if I open that up, go into the prefabs, and we see here we've got a couple of prefabs sitting here. One is a complete, which contains some assets required for the terrain shader I ship with it. But I'll first show you if you, for instance, already have Expanse weather controller installed. So if you want a bit more, you don't want to touch any other things in your scene. For instance, if you've got a creative sky in there already, basically what you do is you drag this in, and you can see here that we require an interpolable creative sky, which we haven't got in our scene. So by pressing OK, it will be added, and it's the same with the procedural cloud plane, and it'll be same with the texture cloud plane. And then it'll also tell you that we require a game a player. So by pressing OK, this will be added. And obviously, it's always when you first start a new project and you import the Expanse Weather Controller, it takes a bit of time for the initial initialization of it. This is only on a fresh install. When you go forward, there won't be any delays in adding this. Just need to wait till this is installed. And there we go. So there she is, and we can see here straight away comes up, no player assigned. So as we have nothing in the scene, I'll just create a camera and we can assign that into the player. And that's basically the easiest setup with regards to the Expanse Weather Controller. It will drag all the required components in from the Expanse. You can see them sitting here. We've got the cloud volume, we've got a cloud plane, and we've got a texture plane. And you can see that here, and obviously on the front we've got the options to switch off individual layers, use them all, or whatever you want. Same here, the transition speeds, nothing really has changed here. I've got a global wind, and each layer can have, so if you for instance enable the wind, you can see it moving around, and you can there's an override for each individual cloud speed, so you can speed up individual layers or all at the same time, and you can obviously change direction as well. I've got a global volume, which is the audio volume. It might be a little bit not very well made. I might change that into global audio volume in case people think it's going to be a volume effect, where you can override the complete audio settings. At the moment, for each preset, you can set the audio separately, but here you can control the audio volume globally. For the rest, nothing much has changed so far in that, although there's quite a few changes under the hood with regards to the weather presets. For instance, if we go to the cloud preset and we go to the actual normal weather preset settings, you can see I've changed everything into curves, and now everything, these curves are being calculated over a 24-hour period in game time. So if you set game time to 1 minute, this curve will interpolate 1 minute in real time, but it's actually a 24-hour period. So you can have, for instance, here the sun brightness curve. You can peel down lower down the brightness curve in the morning. In the afternoon, you make it a little bit brighter. In the evening, goes back down again. That was a suggestion from other author, and I think it's a very good suggestion. So I've implemented that for all the settings here, and I see I've actually haven't assigned it to the temperature curve. So let's just add a curve in there, and we'll just leave it sitting at 1 for now. And that's basically it. As soon as you drag the preset in, everything will be preloaded. For instance, with the storm, you'll have a lightning effect will be automatically added and a particle effect, and that's for all the other ones as well, as you can see. So that is the basic prefab of the Expanse Weather Controller. So if I would take this one out and I'll load the other one up. So on Ewc Complete, I've actually got a camera already in there, and this is already preloaded with the cloud volume, etc. And there's some optional terrain objects if you use my terrain shader as well. I had some extra items in here, including some UI examples, but what I've done is I've moved everything over now. I'll just go to the Expanse Weather Controller and go to the demo, and I'll open the demo scene. And here we can see the UI which I've got interfaced. I often see this. This is something Expanse related. I mean, as soon as you load another scene that comes up, but you can just click that away. And basically, if we open this up, everything is already set up here, and we've got. What I've done is I've put in an example of how to manipulate the different settings which you can use in your games or whatever. So, for instance, if I press play. There we go. So I've got here, you've got the game time in minutes, but that's only if this is set to simulation. You can set the simulation speed. So at the moment we've got 124 hour is compressed into 1 minute basically. And we'll see as the time progresses. You see the time running here. And then the game time in minutes is, you can see the sun there. As we increase that, you can see the sun slowing down, because we're basically saying, okay, at the moment we've got 12 minutes is a 124 hour period. So I'll just switch that off now, and I'll set the time to midday again. Then we've got the sky offset in there, so you got the 180 degrees sky offset. And we've got the actual preset changer. So if we go, for instance, to, well, let's go to the storm, why not? And we go back to the cloudy setting. And here we can see the overall volume. We've got the wind speed, and obviously the wind direction here as well. And then you can enable and disable individual layers. Again, I've exposed these settings in a far easier way. And if you go to the documentation, I've got here the public variables. You can see them here, telling you how to call them. And so, for instance, if you want to set the game time in minutes, this is basically in your script. You add the using the Ewc, which is the namespace for the Expanse weather controller, and this is how to get and set the various exposed variables in the program, in the asset. So like I said, this is a quick setup. I'll show you just one more thing. I've got the UI components are all in an example. They're outside the asset now. And for instance, we've got the event here as well. We've got an event example. So if I open this up, and so we've got an on day and an on night. I've got a couple of text boxes here. So we're doing the on day and an on night action. So let's add a couple here, and we add a couple of night actions. And the day goes in there, and the night goes in there, and then we do the same here. And then on the daytime, we want the game object either active, so because we are on the on day action, so we want the day to go on, and the night we want to be off. And then obviously the other way around for the, so here we don't set this one active and we do set this one active. So if we now, for instance, play again and we set the time, we slowly scroll through the time and we can see we're hitting the night time. So that's the action, the events in action. And obviously I've just done it on the day and night action, but there's plenty of different ones for you to choose from. Those are the sort of pre-made ones, and you've also got the option to add a custom event where you can set the date and time when you want this event to trigger. As soon as it's triggered, it will disappear basically. So that is, it's always been there, but I probably haven't really touched upon that lately. This is a fairly short video. I was asked for this just to explain. A lot of people had initial problems installing the asset. Hence I made this short video. I will follow this up with something a bit more in-depth. However, I'm extremely short of time at the moment, so please bear with me. I will answer all the questions on my Discord. And yeah, happy coding.